How's everybody doing today? Today's actually the first session of the Claude Certified Architect Foundations. I'm here with the actual main host and Mr. Raheem Ramzan, who has recently passed. What's your score? 809?
809.
809. Um, if you have not actually if you were a part of our legacy batch, but if you guys have not actually signed up to do the Claude Certified Architect Foundations this time around, please go ahead, contact me as soon as possible. We'd love to go out there and set up a time to chat with you. We've got this, and then we also have the Open AI Partner Network, which we had just gotten access to about 23 days ago. So we have that, and then for those some of you have already know, we're also now part of the Paraform Recruiting Network. So all fun things to come. One more thing before I forget. Actually, Raheem, can I share my screen really quick
Yeah.
before you guys get started? I'm just gonna remove this. One more thing before we start. I'm just gonna pop this into, oh my gosh, how could I have been this careless? Uh, there's also Eventbrite right here. So we got a few things actually coming up. So this is a 5 week session that's running back to back to back to back. Every Tuesday and every Thursday. This is the most important session right here. And then tomorrow we'll have a virtual hiring referral call for AIPM and for deployed engineering roles. And then next Tuesday we also have an in-person NYC hiring referral event. For those of you who don't know, we have recently actually gotten accepted into the Paragon recruiting network. So we actually have tons of referrals for y'all ready to go. And then without further ado here, one more last thing is, without further ado, is there anything else? Oh, yes. If any of these roles right here are actually roles that you guys are interested in, or you guys know people that's a good fit, reach out to us immediately. Immediately. Love to get out there and talk to you all about that. Anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and actually let Raheem here completely take it away, and I'll be in the background. Raheem, go out there and knock it out.
Let's do it. One sec. Let's do the whole desktop. All right, can you guys see my desktop? I'm assuming yes. Okay, so what we're gonna do is this is like just this week is introduction, sort of covering what the exam is, covering how to even take the exam. And then towards the end, I'm gonna do like a little bit of a live demo for you guys on how to sort of make your own tutor and how to like drill questions down more. Um, so yeah, I passed the exam recently with an 809 score. Wish it was better, but still good score. Because all you gotta do is pass, guys. All you gotta do is pass. So let's kick it off. Right. So is this course right for you? If you're coming from a non-technical background, I want to stress that this exam isn't going to test you on your coding abilities at all. I'll get more into what other certifications they have that may be more aligned with sort of learning how to code Claude apps. Um, this is really useful if you're also like a PM. You can, learn the language of how to communicate sort of the architecture of a project, right? So you don't need to code, but you do need to know, you know, what things are like, what things are, and how, yeah. This is not good if you want to just go from like zero. This is not coding in terms of like you're not going to learn how to make an app at all. So this is good. It's like a higher level exam and not so much nitty gritty exam. This course is going to be over 6 weeks, 1 week orientation, and then 5 weeks. We'll do one domain a week. Tuesday, Thursdays. Um, these are the 5 domains that we're going to be covering. So if you look at the sheet, this order of the domains is what I picked, what I figured out would be the easiest way to learn, as opposed to the actual domain order that they give at the exam. You'll notice that, so the exams here, each domain has like a percentage of what's going to be covered on the exam. It is not a one-to-one in the sense that if it's 20% and 120 questions, you're not going to get 12 problems, because problems cross domains, which is actually what makes this exam more difficult than other exams. So yeah, prompts to go first, because prompts is basically, I think everyone who's ever used an LLM or like Claude or Codex, prompts are basically the lifeblood, the main way you interact with these models. So we'll start with there. Then we'll move into context, because context is everything, right? Context is everything. You'll need to refine sort of the context, and you'll learn sort of, what to do when you have too much context. What do you do to avoid having too much context? How do you manage context? After that, we'll get more into like the tooling for like tools and MCP servers. This is sort of where it gets a little bit more techy, right? As opposed to at a higher level. Agents then will be sort of the implementation of tools, or tool that agents will use with the tools you have. And then we go through Cloud Code. That's going to be probably the most techie version if you haven't like used any of the CLI agents that are available. But we'll get you prepped no matter what. So first, how to sit for the exam. Can't take the exam if you don't do all these first steps. First, you need to get into a partner email network. It's one of the guardrails that they have for this exam. So if you join us, you'll be a part of the network, and therefore you can take the exam. Next, there'll be 4 courses. You can probably knock them out in like 2 days. Only one of them is really long, but completely digestible. Then you just register and pay, and then you have to, like a day or 2 later after you pay, you can actually schedule your exam. I do want to emphasize this, is that your name has to match exactly. So 3 people in our group, name was mismatched, took about a week to 2 weeks to get that fixed. So if you want to like take the exam to get a little bit of a brain dump, before you sign up and pay for the exam, make sure your account name matches your government ID. And then these are sort of the base mechanic, or the exam mechanics. It's going to be 120 minutes. It's 60 questions. Passing score is 720. It's not SAT style, so there's no penalty for guessing. Yeah. So then for exam policies, it's $125. We're good for 12 months. As soon as you pick the exam, once you're finished, you'll get your pass fail score. And then you'll also get drilled down sort of what domain questions they have. I'll provide that next session, so you can take a look at sort of what questions they're going to ask in terms of topics. Also, you want to pass this exam on the first time, because there is a penalty on retakes. 2 weeks, 30, 90, and then only 4 up for 12 months. You definitely want to pass the first time. Then renewal, if you let it expire, you have to take the exam again, so don't do that. They're going to offer sort of like a course that you can take to continue to meet that continued education requirement, basically. So what's out of scope? Like, you don't need to know Claude's internal architecture. You don't have to learn how to do model training. RLHF is reinforcement learning with human feedback. You kind of have to know what RAG is, but embedding in vector, the vector database, you don't have to know how to implement that. So vision, streaming, right? And then key rotation and prompt catching. You'll find those in other exams. If you're more of a techie person, I would say get the architect first, And then if you still want to get the developer certificate, and then if you're working at a really big enterprise, like, like a 2,000, 5,000 employee company, maybe the architect professional exam will be more right for you after the foundation exam. Yeah. So then just let's go again, cover the five domains in plain English. Prompt engineering is just, getting reliable, consistent output out of Claude. This will also kind of cover sort of AI evaluation methods, right? Like you have to be able, like, how do you know a prompt is good, right? Like a lot of people you'll notice it's like, they're just ask ChatGPT a question and sort of, just take it at face value, right? They're not actually testing sort of, what prompt works better, right? Like you can change the prompt and you can get different responses. So we'll cover sort of like, yeah, the evaluation methods is very important. Um, and then for context management and reliability, you want the right information. This will come really big in agents with subagents, right? Because you're going to feed context from one agent to another, but there's also content you don't want to give, right? You don't want to give the bias of the original agent to another agent. So that stuff will be fun. Tool design is sort of, you know, how can I make my LLM do more, right? You got to give it hands so it can mold the clay. And cloud code configuration, this is more of like just, setting up your environment, um, you know, uh, putting things in place where it's supposed to be, such that you can utilize LLMs to the fullest. So the exam has 6 official scenarios. Um, they're all a little bit different. Um, yeah, they're all a little bit different. Let's go through them real quick. Customer service resolution agent, right? This is like your traditional chat bot that you talk to. For instance, like this last weekend, I bought my sister a ticket to go to a wedding in Sacramento, uh, and she forgot her credit card, so she couldn't like get in. So you pop up you pop a chat, and nowadays these chats can do a lot, right? So I was like, change the name of my booking, and they did it without ever talking to a person, right? And it took less than a minute. Uh, that's sort of where the value comes from for customer service, right? I have right here. It saves costs because you don't have to hire a bunch of humans anymore. Um, yeah, and then next would be the generate code with law. This is what vibe coding is really. This is where everyone sort of, even not even vibe coding, even most engineers now write most of their code using LLMs. Um, and then this one is sort of, you get more hours back. And in that sense, most people nowadays sort of just, the people are becoming more productive writing code, such that, the release cycle and how fast they develop went up by a lot. Um, Multi-agent is really good for, like doing research, gathering lots of information. So its benefit is, yes, speed to insight. Developer productivity with load. This is sort of like the, you know, yeah, just makes coding more efficient. And then for CI/CD, this is sort of the pipeline for deployment. People use this one sort of to, um, what's it called? Like prevent mistakes propagating into the system, right? It'll do checks before it really, the code base gets committed. So this will reduce a lot of headaches, and it's quite boring stuff to do. And then last one, which I find the most useful because I come from a data engineering background, structured data abstraction. This is sort of just like, reducing a manual data entry, but it's also sort of like, if you ever work with data, sometimes it's really messy. And these LLMs, if you give them the right prompts and examples, they can do some pretty great stuff when it comes to data extraction. Oh, one thing I want to remember too. So if you look at each of the scenarios, there's a domain associated with it. Each scenario has 2 to 3 domain topics. When we were looking before at the domains with the percentages of how much you're going to see it in the exam. each question could have 2 to 3 domains, which is what makes it really hard. So you normally the exam, you'll have 4 of the scenarios picked out of the 6, and in those 4 domains, every question can be multiple domains in order to figure out what the best solution is. It's one of those exams where it's like um, all the answers are right, kind of, but one's better than the other. And that's definitely the harder part of the exam. And we talked about this. Yeah, just you identify the role, you map the domain, you apply the knowledge. Now let's. Oh, I went really fast today. Let's do a live demo. All right. So here we have instructions on how to sort of set this up. This is just the Claude desktop application, right? We're in projects. You can make a new project. I'm going to use my architect tutor that I used for my studying. One sec, let me move this. Yeah, so I gave an instruction. If you want to see this full instruction after, just send me an email and I'll give you the prompt. This is just setting up sort of the modes that I want when I'm tutoring, or when I'm not tutoring, when I'm getting tutored. It has a little bit of my background. So I've used AI enough that it kind of has an idea of what I've been doing the last couple of months. It knows my background, so it can explain things to me in the context that I can understand it. You'll notice throughout this project, even during this course, context handling is sort of at the heart of everything, or the heart of the LLM. Okay. So yeah, let's just do this. You can see my screen. Let's get rid of this. Let's do this. So I primarily used this Search Safari question bank, right? So what I did is, let's start a quiz. Let's just do 10 questions. Start. Closer. Nope, wrong way. So yeah, when you first take this exam, I recommend you'll go through the courses at SkillJar, and you're going to be like, oh man, those quizzes were really easy, right? They're like, you passed it on the first try, no confusion. The courses cover the basics, but to pass the exam, there's a much higher bar. It's not that low. So I found this resource. You can do this with any mock exam website, right? I'm showing you the one I used. If you have one in mind that you would like me to take a look at and rank it, please send me that in an email, and I'll definitely get back to you, by the next session probably. So I'm just going to guess, right? So what you can do that gives a lot of value is, okay, so it has its domain up here. It has all the explanations of why one is right, the other ones are wrong. So what you can do actually is, as you're taking these quizzes, right, you can capture the screenshot. I know this one. This is going to be. Let's see this one. This is it. No, this is one. I guessed. Anyways, so what you're going to do, I'm going to keep doing this. I would do this for every single problem you answer. All right. Eventually, come on, where's my other screenshot? There it is. Right, you're going to get a bunch of these screenshots, right? Take the actual exam. Don't just guess like I did. You should get a baseline to measure yourself against. So what happens is, let's take a look. Practice exam 1. So I took my first practice exam on this website, July 15th. We take a look at the screenshot. What I get wrong, what I get right. We do all these details, and then what you can do is you can go into Claude, right? Not Claude, I do it CLI version. CCA-F, one, Claude. I guess I trust this folder. So this is just an example of Claude CLI. But what you can do is I also saved it over here. Bad. There we go. You can give it a prompt, right? And this prompt for this one specifically is what I use for it. It'll extract all of the data from that slideshow or the slideshow, the screenshots. And since the screenshots sort of have, how many questions you had, the subdomain that you were covering, it actually builds a pretty rich knowledge base of what you were good at, what you sucked at, and then it can tutor you better on basic. You can actually like drill down, like, hey, I got problem one wrong, right? Yeah, so I got problem one wrong. Teach me about it, or like for me, I did I did 14 practice exams. And then it had such a rich answer base of information that it knew my weaknesses, and then we went through it, and then we sort of patched those weaknesses, um, which is really really useful. So like I would also recommend something. This is so I use Search Safari. Go back to quiz. This is a free resource. I will say that these questions were harder than most of the content I could find at the time, but this one's sort of a step up. But to be honest, even this one was kind of like 70% hardness when like the exam is like a 95% hardness, if that makes sense. Um, I would say like if you were to take this exam, like do like do a full all domain quiz, right? And do like 60. And then take the exam. And then I would say like, try to figure out your baseline, because the baseline is going to tell you how much more time or how much less time you'll need to pass the exam. From my experience, for this guy, getting between like an 88 to like a 92, like maybe 2, 3 times in a row, I think is a safe baseline that you'll probably pass the exam. Um, and that's, yeah. Next, what you can also do, so now well, once you get the exams translated, sorry, I'll take a look at that actually. So here, we'll take a look real quick. So here, question one, got it wrong. The prompt to extract the information. So it captured all the questions. It knows what I got right and what I got wrong. And it's all the questions, 60 questions, which is helpful. And then the other one, if you're doing text-based, right, there's a bunch of different resources for text. There's also a bunch of things for videos, right? So for instance, this is like a playlist. They got a bunch of videos. I think this girl kind of divides it. Doing this on the fly for this one. So yeah, she only does topics. Okay, so right, we can go like, hey, let's take this YouTube video. Let's go on our project. Let's go to our tutor, and we can go like create a CSV of all the links. CSV with video title and video URL link from this YouTube playlist. Right, we go. Let's see if I can do it. Should be able to do it. If this doesn't work, I'll show you a way, another way of doing it. So you need, let's do this one. So it's using Claude in Chrome. I think it's going to show you like, yeah, see here, it's in your browser now and it's doing the work. Um, so this is really, so this is like a, you can think of it as like a kind of like a pipeline, right? You're like, hey, I watched this video. This video had a bunch of information. I don't particularly want to write notes. But what I do want is I want the information in my context, in my project for tutoring or for getting tutored, such that if I keep messing up on a specific topic or question, uh, Claude will have I can't, okay, I'm gonna do it the other way, easy way. So what we can do instead, and you want all of the context of the videos available to Claude in a way it can digest it. And when you ask for questions and help, it'll have more examples and more perspectives on how to teach you better. It's very, if you're, as you learn and you do more LLM stuff, it's an iterative process and that never really quite ends. And you're always trying to tweak it to get it better. You got to evaluate it, even as you go, like the job is never done. So give you an idea. So I did this one by hand. So do transcripts. Okay, so we got, yeah, I can just bat that for you guys. Bet. Right. So I found a bunch of videos for that I use as a resource. And then I mapped like a basic CSV of like, hey, my subdomain is 1.1. This is the video about the domain. This particular video had the main patterns per subdomain, and then also all the anti-patterns of the subdomain. Anti-patterns meaning common wrong answers, basically. It's like it's the patterns of the wrong stuff that people fall for, right? These are the traps that are going to be laid out during the exam. But yeah, so I provide Claude this list of all 30 subdomain videos, right? Ran a prompt. I can give you that prompt later if you need it. And then it created all of these transcripts, right? So it's like 1 minute intervals. It has all this data, and this is really super nice because you can watch the videos. Even if you don't watch the videos, you can upload as much content can fit into your project. Like projects have context limits. And this is where you're going to get a lot of the personalized, help me like find errors. I also use this for towards the end of my practice before the exam. You can ask it to ask you harder questions, right? Like give me options that are right but not as right. And that's probably the closest you'll get to like the exam questions prior to taking it. Yeah, let me here. Yeah, go live. Oh man, I went really fast. Yeah. So you want to toss. Oh, you want to toss in your docs. You want to toss in your exam guide, the official Claude Code Architect Foundations exam guide goes in here. And then, yeah, you can just kind of leverage your tutor. Another thing I wanted to show you on that note is Here, this is important. So this is the source hierarchy that I gave my project. What you might notice as you start to consume more and more different resources is sometimes you're actually going to get conflicting information. You know, one site's going to say A, the other site's going to say B, and the other site's going to say C. Uh, so you're going to want to rank these each source, and like so like the CCA-F exam guide is probably the holy grail. It's like the base of the exam. So like that takes priority over any of the other resources that you consume. Then I do documentation. Documentation, is probably the second best. But the point of having the source hierarchy is that Claude will recognize when there's conflicting information, uh, and it will tell you like, "Hey, I found this discrepancy." Then it'll think, and then it'll say, "Hey, B was right, A was wrong. Uh, don't don't do A." And that helps a lot because you're going to find conflicting information as you gather sort of these in the wild west of um, resources for you. And then the other thing, I have lots of time left, so let's go. I talked too fast. When using Claude for your tutoring, let's see if I can pull one. Yeah, let's do this. Quiz me on subdomain. Okay, yeah. You're gonna want to like, this is more of an exam test taking tips, I would say. Um, when doing these questions, right, you're gonna want to know which answers are wrong, right? Knowing what answers are wrong is gonna help a lot in the exam, because they're tricky, and like you got to find like a very niche reason of like this isn't the best answer, cross it off. Um, but the other part too is when you're doing these questions, I use a notation. I tell Plot about it. I use a notation like this, meaning that like if I have two question marks, that means I narrowed it down to two. Three is three. I narrowed it down to one, and then four question marks is I guessed, but I didn't know. Um, don't let your I'm lucky on a multiple choice question guide you on where your weaknesses are, right? Like if you get an answer right, but you narrowed it down to two, you don't know the information well enough yet. So you should iterate back and tell Claude, hey, you know, I kind of knew what this was. Uh, and then it will tell you like, hey, yeah, you got it right, but you know what? I'm still going to give you the reason of, you know, why it works. Um, that's really helpful. Um, and then I will show you guys next time how to make an artifact, and then you can sort of use it as like a dashboard for your studying. Um, yeah, that's all I had for today. But I love questions. Um, yeah, I mean, can you open up questions, Rich, to the group? He is not here. Huh. But yeah, using AI to teach you stuff is the future, right? It can be very personalized. It can be very fast, um, and it can be very like specific. Specificity is really nice about when it tries to patch your gaps. Um, he's not here. The exam is fairly difficult. Um, I think yeah. Let's see. when you're taking the exam, I would also say, uh, so one side will be the scenario, the other side will be the questions. You'll get, like I said before, four of the scenarios. You're not really gonna look at it too much. It's like on the left side of the page. It's like three sentences long, and then you're gonna focus on the domain questions. The business values do help in terms of understanding, where the question is coming from, right? You, yeah. Oh, yeah, live demo, MCQ, live two. Um, yeah, I'll gather some more resources for you guys on, and I'll evaluate some of them too, more depending on how many I get. So you guys can go as fast as you want, or you can wait. If you have questions for each as we go forward, just send them my way. I'll try to explain it the best I can, and then sort of maybe give you like a tricky version of the question to see your expertise. Um, Also, in future sessions, we'll have polling, so we'll do some live, you know, actual quizzes, kind of see where everyone's at. So, like, if everyone gets it right, we can move a little bit faster. I do talk very fast, as you can see, um, so we'll be moving pretty fast. Okay, any questions? Yeah, you guys have any questions? I can go deep, go wide. Let me know. Um, we'll go pretty fast for the domains. This guy. Oh, here we go. What time frame did it take you to complete the course materials prior to taking the CCA-FA exam, certification exam? If you're talking about, let me show you guys right now. Skill jar courses. Look at my profile. It took me about 2 days to finish the courses. It's not uh, this one, and then these bottom three. The first one and the bottom three. Um, the building with Cloud API is the longest section by far. It's basically longer than all of the other three sections combined, multiplied by two. It's a lot. This is a big. I can probably show you too. Um, see how long it is? Look at that. All this stuff. And then just to give you an idea, just look at the other ones real quick. See, this one's like, see, right, this is like what, 30 minutes tops. This one's also really short. So it's mainly the API one. That's the long one. Put that back. And then for me, when I did it, um, I basically just drilled the cert Safari questions until it started making sense. I did find afterwards some other YouTube channels that other members that we know used, and those were useful too. Because like when I was doing the mock exam after mock exam after mock exam, like I was learning I would say at a slower rate than I should have. Um, but once I watched the videos, it's like, oh, okay. So like the process of learning the mock exams taught me everything in the videos, and then the videos kind of summarized and condensed my learnings. So it's you can do it either way, right? You can either go like I did, just take a practice exam, see how you score, iterate on it. If you're less defeatist and you want like a better score so you feel better, maybe study even more on the front end and then start taking the mocks. But I do recommend mocks because it's sort of the same style of testing. Um, so yeah, so I did this what so like I July 9th I started the course. So I took the exam from zero to hero, uh, 21 days, 31st, 22 days. Um, and then so for each of the mocks, uh, it's 60 questions. I'm kind of a fastest taste taker when it comes to multiple choice. So each of those took maybe like 70, 75 minutes. And then actually like doing all the screenshots, the prompts, condensing information, that's like an extra like 15 minutes per mock exam. Um, and then I do you should review the questions afterwards too. So I would keep a because like Claude will capture your failures pretty well with the screenshots, but it won't capture your guesses, right? Like the ones where you guess and you got right, like that's a wrong answer still in studying. So I would keep a log of which practice exam I was taking, and then tell it like, hey, I guessed on this question. I wasn't very sure about it. So then, Giannis, how do we make sure we have access to the course? Um, I mean, technically, right now, if I'm understanding your question correctly, um, you can sign up to SkillJar right now, right on a non-partner email, and then you can start taking the courses right now. But to sign up for the exam, you need to have a Claude partner account. Um, and then you could just like, for instance, if you don't have Claude partner account right now, but you're going to get one soon, um, you can go do the SkillJar courses. They'll helpful, right? It's sort of your baseline. Um, and then you get your partner email. Then you go to SkillJar, and then you just kind of like it's going to suck a little bit, but you're going to click on everything and just fast forward to the end, over, and then pass the quiz again, and then you'll be able to yeah, then you'll be able to sit for the exam. Do you have a written prompt on pulling YouTube transcripts like you did on your? Yes, I do have this. One sec. You have. Yeah, so I saved it for you guys. Can I drop a file in here? Oh, I can. My computer. Go. Come on, computer. CCA-F transcript prompts. I think that should be good. Okay, so I think you guys got the transcript prompt. I am using the CLI version to do this stuff. Um, like, so your Claude desktop, your Claude browser, and your Claude CLI tool, they're all the same model underneath, but they have different like. Uh, this won't be covered in the exam, but this is to know. Um, there's basically kind of like different things you can do. Like for instance, for Cloud Desktop, you have this access to a project, right? You dump all the context into it that you want, and then when you ask questions to it, it'll know. Um, but CLI is a little bit different, and we'll get into the nitty gritty of those when we cover, yeah, I think the first section, so prompts. Um, don't see the file you shared. Okay. Oh, nope, no, nope, not that one. Okay. Oh, why can't I share that to you? Let me see if I can dump it in chat. Here, I'm just gonna dump it for you guys real quick. Yeah. I give this to you guys. I'm not used to this zoom, 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 zoom. Oh, that's a question mark. Okay. Can I share this? How about this? Give me. Okay. Just email me, Jonas. Let's see. What
Yeah, what do we
is?
need? I just got off my call.
How am I supposed to? How can I give a file to them? I see the host and panelists to share files, but I don't see it in the Q&A.
Drop it in the chat.
Just a drag and drop.
What are you trying to drop?
So here, let's see. No, I guess that might work. Desktop, CCA-F. So I made this one. No, can't drop it, Rich.
What? Didn't you just drop the transcripts.prompt?
I did, but it's only for host and panelists. It's not people in the chat can't see it.
I see. Well, we'll send it in the follow-up email, but that's why you guys got to show up to all the sessions.
But yeah. If you just send me the emails to my thing, I'll respond pretty fast.
Hmm.
If anyone has any other questions, let me know. The tutor will help a lot, guys, and it's something you can reuse for different endeavors when you want to learn something. Um, because it can do a lot. Like I use it for algorithms and data structures as well. Um, and when you give a model like very specific context, it does a lot better when you give it vague. Um, like we'll show you some examples as we go into prompts. So next week, first week, and that'll be like even if you don't finish the course, that'll be pretty meaty for you, which will be nice. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. If you have no other questions, look forward to see you next week. Well, we're gonna live test some tool. We're gonna do some live test some tools.
You mean Thursday? You're on a Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday. Oh, this Thursday. Sorry, not next Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Uh, Show up to the sessions, people. And then contact me to get access into the Cloud Partner Network. We got you guys. All right. No other questions? Give me a second here. Did we answer all the questions in the Q&A?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. Well, actually, no. Michael Zimmerman, did you have a question?
Oh, I see his hand up. Yeah.
You have talk access.
Yes, hi. Will the recordings be made available to participants? And do you teach the lower level Claude certification courses?
Um,
Lower as in the CCAOF, whatever it's called. What is it?
Yes, because I believe this is the highest level. Claude certification?
I wouldn't say it's the highest. I would. I think it's the most well-rounded. Um, like it depends what your objective is, but like the foundations is definitely like the in the middle, good for everyone one, right? The developer one is more specific to developers.
Uh,
The CC architect professional is like it's like you can think of the CCA-F as sort of like like a mid-size, low mid-size company, trying to develop their own, cloud applications. But then the CCA professional, that's more like enterprise, right? Because they really focus on security and other aspects. You can get the lesser one. I want to say lesser, but the easier one. Uh,
okay. I misread their site then, but it was late at night. So
I mean, it's still good. Like I think we had a few people who took this one before the foundation one, and they said it was much easier. Um, if you want to collect all the Infinity Stones like I do, totally get it. Uh, but I mean, if you can get the foundations and pass, it'll be more valuable to you, I would say.
okay. I've only been working with AI for about almost 2 years, and
Oh, that's plenty of time.
okay, okay. And are you making these recordings available to us? Because I know.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. And then there was another gentleman with a question. I'll let him ask his own question. Thank you, guys.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Michael.
I don't think there's any. Do you see another hand, Rich? I don't see another hand.
I don't see another hand. Was there another hand?
Oh, it was in the Q&A.
Give me a
Jonas.
second.
Oh, Jonas didn't see the
Oh no,
share.
we're gonna get him with the email afterwards.
Okay.
Got it. Arohi, did you have a question? I think I saw like a flicker of the emoji for like a second.
Sorry, that was a mistake. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. You guys can ask questions. It's your time.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Oops.
it's
Sorry about
all
that.
good. It's all
No worries,
good.
no worries, no worries, no worries. We're here to help. We're here to help.
I got excited. I was like, oh, another question, and then you took the hand away. But yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything in terms of like getting prepped. I like the test taking tips that I said. I would look into them, even if it's so helpful. The exam questions are really like if you ask anyone, it's like because the exam is so new, there aren't as much resources as at like other certifications. Um, so that makes the exam more difficult. But I have found some resources that popped up in like after I took the exam in the last like 10 days. And it's yeah, a lot of stuff's coming up. But it also moves like a mile a minute. Like when I was taking those mock exams, a week later, the answers changed because something new in Claude came out. Um, it's a very fast paced environment for sure. And maybe I'll share some of my how I keep up to date prompts, not really prompts, but more so like schedule workflows.
100%. All right, folks. Give me a quick second here. I'm just gonna tell y'all where we're gonna be posting these up. And give me a second. There is a channel, it's called Build in Public, and I'm just gonna grab it. It's either gonna be there. Um, yeah, we'll upload it over to YouTube. All right, folks. Move fast. Market is ripping right now. So we will talk to you all very, very soon. Thank you so much for spending time over here.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.